This is Doc Ock coming to you live and direct from Black Facts Headquarters Central. Doc Ock coming to you live and direct this morning with more from our stories. Yes, we took a break over the weekend as we've been wont to do. We're still trying to get back in the flow. This has been like a hard slog, but kind of like rolling off a good log, but it's a hard slog. So it feels good while you're doing it until you fall in that water and you get all wet. And then you realize, dang, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. But it is a good idea, and we're going to continue doing it until we just can't do it no more. And in the meanwhile, we're racking up the numbers of our live streams as we go, and building our virtual library. You could call it that to a certain extent. It's like, oh, our archive, right? Our archive, our cache of stories, building this cache of stories. And it's just going to get better and better because we're discovering things as we go. But before I get too deep into anything else, let's go ahead and do our typical intro and remind you to go ahead and like us below, give us a thumbs up, and then subscribe, and you'll be good to go, along with your friends and your family, because invite them to come as well. You might as well. This is not some kind of plaintive plea. I'm just inviting them to be able to enjoy some of me just like you. Why should you deprive them of the pleasure and leave them with nothing but the blues and very few clues? That's right. Give them more than just some blues clues. Give them something they can remember to keep them from ever having to lose. And we talked about next month what we were going to do. Starting next month, in a few days, middle of this week, we're going to start reading key Swahili proverbs. And we're going to have a whole month reading key Swahili proverbs because I have become intrigued with these key Swahili proverbs that I recently discovered. And I've got one here today. I don't even have to actually read it off a piece of paper. I know it. I already got it memorized. And here it is. Haraka, haraka, hyena, baraka. They say, I'm going to drop that on you. Haraka, haraka, hyena, baraka. And what that means is the first word, haraka, that means to hurry. And in Kiswahili, when you want somebody to do something emphatically, you just repeat the word over again. So you say, haraka, haraka, hurry, hurry. You know, do it very, very fast. Not just fast, but very fast. Haraka, haraka. So, haraka, haraka, hyena, baraka. Baraka, like Imamu Baraka, that's the last part of Imamu Baraka's name, means blessing. So, Imamu Baraka is a blessed imam. Or, yeah, I would say it's probably, I'm thinking this probably means blessed imam is what he was going for. So, haraka, haraka, hyena, baraka. And when you translate that, what do you get? You get, it doesn't do you a lot of good to hurry. Moving fast is not a blessing. Doing something quickly does you no good if you actually do not achieve your goal. So, as we deal with these proverbs, as these proverbs come out, one of the things that you'll see is that language itself tells you a lot about a group of people, not just one person, but a whole group of people and the way that they think. And in African culture, to hurry is not really a good thing. Where are you running to? Where are you running to? Where are you going to? What is it that you have to do that you got to get it done so fast that you don't have time to stop and chit chat, have a cup of coffee, ask somebody how their relatives are doing, etc. Where is it you're going so fast that you don't have time to do that? So slow down, slow your roll, accomplish your goal. Haraka, haraka, hyena, baraka. Hurrying is not a blessing. Great haste makes great waste. That's how we would say it in English. Okay? Great haste makes great waste. But in Kiswahili, haraka, haraka, haina baraka. Remember that. Okay, and we're gonna come with some more through the rest of the month. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and do our story for today, which is a continuation from the book Ethiopian Stories by George S. Schuyler, born and bred in the USA, talking about Ethiopia today, or Ethiopia back then. This is back in the 1940s. And so they now are ready to, they've taken off already from the Ethiopian airport, and they're headed to a place called Abra Destum. They're headed to Abra Destum with the Desmach at the controls. He's the one flying, the pilot flying the plane. And he's going to take them to a jump off point where they're going to jump out of the plane. So that's Dick, his valet Bill, and Princess Zunda. They're all going to jump out of a plane. Now, you might think that's something, an odd thing for a female to be doing back in the 1940s, but as it turns out, we got a female, a real live female from right here in Cleveland, Ohio, that used to do just that. She jumped from 20,000 feet off of the wing of a biplane back in the 1930s into Lake Erie. So, yeah, we got some women around that would resemble Princess Zunda. So, chapter 13, the little plane labored manfully with the heavy load rising ever higher and higher over miles of primeval forest from which here and there curled a lazy column of smoke. It was rough going. The plane bucked and lurched as they hit air pockets over the rugged mountains. Thoughts flashed through Dick's brain as they approached nearer and nearer their destination. There were scores, literally scores of unanswered questions. Suppose they did get to the place where the treasure was buried. Would it be turned over to them? And if it were placed in their hands, how would they ever get it to Djibouti or anywhere else? There was just one chance in 100 of getting out of this. Had he been a fool to come on such a mission? He looked up to find the princess's eyes studying him with a softness and confidence which made his doubts of his wisdom flee faster than the plane carrying him to his new adventures. Bill Sifton, terrified and hanging on to the bundle of equipment tied midway between the two seats, was ashen gray. Yamru imperturbably drove the plane higher and higher toward cloud-capped peaks. They were rapidly approaching. The going became even rougher than it had been. Yamru signaled that they were up 10,000 feet in the air. Now they were approaching the great mass of rock which Dick guessed to be Abra Destum. Its summit, just a few hundred yards below them, was wreathed in the clouds. Here the forest was replaced by dwarfed trees and scraggly bushes. It was an utter wilderness with no human in sight. On each side the great mass of rock fell away almost perpendicularly to an awful depth. Dick wondered how anyone had ever been able to climb it, let alone bring treasure up there. Yamru circled the summit and dropped several smoke bombs. Then he looked significantly at Dick and signaled him to jump. With some difficulty, he got out of the narrow seat. For a moment, he looked at the awful desolation below him, and his heart sank. But there could be no turning back now. He pulled himself all the way out of the seat and, closing his eyes, dived overboard. When he knew he was clear, he pulled the cord, waiting with curious calm for one hurtling toward the earth. Then a great pull, and his speed slackened. He breathed easy again. The parachute had opened. Dick floated lazily to the mountain, remembering Yamru's instructions on the manipulation of parachute cords to keep from being dragged. He soon untangled himself and stretched thankfully. He looked up and saw both the princess and Bill floating down. Then Desmond now leaned out and cut the cords binding the big bundle to the top of the plane, attached to it a parachute, and let it float down. Then, firing a blast from his machine gun that echoed and re-echoed around the mountain, he turned the nose of his plane toward Beni Shingui and was soon but a speck on the horizon. It was a desolate world in which they found themselves here on the backbone of creation. A few scrub trees, a few scrub oaks and weeds divided the place between them. The hot sun was driving away the mist now. They could see for scores of miles in every direction. The mountain seemed to stand as king amid a kingdom of mountains, rising like the hump of a camel with awful precipices on every side, their bottoms lost in great growths of giant trees. There was no trace of a trail of any kind. "Well," said Dick to his valet, "I see you made it all right." "Yeah, I made it all right," said Bill, "but I know I ain't gonna be the same no more if I live to be 100. I never was so scared." "So was I," Dick acknowledged. "And I," admitted the princess. Then she looked around her. "Dick," she said, "we've got to get going and try to get in contact with our soldiers and have them carry us to Bishop Handem. I've been hunting for a trail, but I can't see any. Why we can't get off this mountain." Dick frowned and looked about him. "We don't have to worry now, Dick," she reassured him. They saw Yamru's signals. "I'm sure they will be along shortly. There's evidently a secret way to get up here." "Now that we're here," said Dick, "it does look as if a plane could land here without much trouble. All we need to do is cut a few dozen of these scrub oaks in order to make a runway. We could get a run here of at least 1,000 feet. Perhaps we could get out by plane." Dick's spirits rose as he thought of the possibilities. No matter how much gold there was, Yamru could fly it out in a couple of trips. He told the princess about it as Bill unfastened the bundle and divided the equipment into 2 packs. "It's possible," she agreed. "It's just possible that we can do it. But first, we've got to get the gold. It will not be any too easy. Bishop Handem will be very cautious, I'm sure." "Does he know you?" "Of course not. He may know of me. Few Ethiopians have seen Bishop Handem or spoken to him. He has lived on this mountain more years than anyone knows. Before Menelik, he was here. Some say he's hundreds of years old." Dick smiled his disbelief. "Don't laugh," she said. "The laugh may be on you. Bishop Handem is not like other men. It is said he has never left Abra Destum. Here he lives on goat's milk, wild berries, fruit, and blood, with only his most trusted men ever admitted to his presence. Has the emperor ever met him? It is the law that the emperor must come once a year at least and bring treasure. This is the first year in our history that an emperor has not been able to do so. Bishop Handem knows why. But you have no message from the emperor to give the bishop, have you?" "I have the ring. The bishop will know that it would not be sent except for one purpose and by a person trusted by the emperor." "Where are you keeping it?" "It's in a safe place." The princess smiled. "I don't want you to know, Dick, because we might get in some difficult position and you might indicate in some way your knowledge of where it was or where it is." "Okay, I can hold my curiosity in leash." Bill brought the princess and Dick their rifles and ammunition and then dropped Dick's pack down in front of him. "Well, we're all ready, boss. Where we go from here?" "We don't go, Bill. We just wait here until somebody comes from below to lead us off this mountain before all 3 of us break our necks." Dick laughed at the puzzled expression on his valet's face. "Suppose don't nobody come," asked Bill, scratching his head. "What we do then?" Dick's jovial reply was drowned by a roar of motors overhead. The 3 looked skyward. A squadron of 6 bombing planes was bearing down rapidly from the east. Their markings were Italiano. Lie down flat, Dick yelled. The Princess and Bill obeyed with alacrity, but already it was too late. The planes circled over them. Men tumbled over the sides and floated to earth on each side of the little party. There were Italians, all right. Bill raised his rifle to shoot. Don't, cried Dick, holding down the muzzle of his gun. It's no use. They've got us. There are too many of them. Disappointment, chagrin, and tears revealed themselves in Princess Etata's face. Her hand sought Dick's. It trembled as it gripped his. At least a dozen soldiers were approaching from as many directions with rifles at the ready. Oh yeah, this man knows how to tell a story. He does know how to tell a story, but he don't know how to do it quick. We're only about halfway through. Well, we're gonna leave this wherever we get. We're gonna read for a few more days, and however far we get, that's how far we get. So we are definitely not going to make it to the end of this story. Yeah, unless I get a lot of messages with more than just a timestamp on them. I need messages that actually say something, because I don't read timestamp lingo. So y'all need to get me a message to say, hey, to keep reading. Okay, I'll keep reading, but it's gonna have to be, I'm gonna need more than one person saying that. So if anybody out there within the sound of my voice, if you want me to keep reading into the month of April to finish this story, which it'll take us a whole half of the month of April to finish it, then inform me, let me know, and I'll see what we can do. But I am trying to get back on our regular schedule, and I haven't decided what we're going to read, what we're going to do for the month of April, but I do want to move on to another country, another place, another time, another topic. I like to try to keep things moving. Meanwhile, what you can do, the least you can do, is go ahead and give us a like, a thumbs up, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Right below, you'll find a link. Go ahead and do that, and you'll be in more than the pink. You'll be in the black, and that's a fact, and that's where we all need to be, in the black, because that's good. Black is good. Keep that in mind. All right, y'all. This is Doc Ock signing off. I'll be black tonight at 9. Look for me then with more tales from from Africa. Because now we're doing, we're not so much in East Africa, we're all over the continent now, with tales from Carter G. Woodson, African myths and folklore from the archives of Carter G. Woodson. And Tina, I see you out there. Peace out. Good to have you with us today.